welcome to Microfiche Microphone. I'm Micah, and on this channel we look at microfiche from the past, old newspaper articles in the public domain. We look at them with our modern eyes, our modern perspective, and see what we can learn from them. On this microfiche time capsule, we are looking back at the Gentleman's Magazine from March 1800, and this article is entitled, Cure for an Asthma. Now, color me skeptical, but I'm just guessing that it's not a cure for asthma. So we will look it up afterwards just to be 100% sure. But I'm just guessing that in 1800 they didn't so much have a cure for asthma, and considering we don't have one today. Yeah, we have treatments, yeah, but we don't have cures. So I am, however, curious as to what they thought actually helped, and whether or not it really helps, or if it was just someone's perception. Yeah? So, anyway, let's find out together, yeah? So, Mr. Urban, March 8. Seeing your correspondent Nicote's account of tobacco, that is 66, page 1045. I have to inform you that I was, from infancy to the age of 40 years, afflicted with very bad periodical asthmatic fits. Now, of course, that can happen, yeah? And then, by advice, began to smoke tobacco. Great, I'm sure that's great for your lungs. Since which time, being now above 20 years, I have had scarcely any fit. What? The treatise Nico mentions was written by one Adam Clark and printed for G. Wistfield, City Road, 1797. Now, in return for this intelligence, I wish you, or he, or any other of your learned readers would be so kind as to answer the two following queries. What is the true description of an abbé in the Romish Church, and what is the true reason of the popes of Rome wearing always a triple crown? Clericus. This is a very weird letter. I'm guessing they just printed the whole letter. Interesting that they called this a cure for asthma when it's kind of a random letter. Weird. Oh, this was really weird. Okay. First of all, let's come back to the asthma question. And I am going to fact check whether or not tobacco has ever been used as a treatment, or if there is a reason why he saw an improvement. Yes? So let's take a look. So, has tobacco ever been used as a treatment for asthma? Holy cow. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get the whole article. So this is from ersjournals.com. So let's see what journal it's from. Okay, this is from the European Respiratory Journal. That sounds pretty, reliable source, yes? Okay, in most developed countries, from the abstract, about 25% of adults with asthma are current cigarette smokers. Asthma and active cigarette smoking interact to cause more severe symptoms. See? Accelerated decline in lung function and impaired short-term therapeutic response to corticosteroids. Oh, that sucks. That means that if you're really choking and you're really having a difficulty and you're a smoker, it might be more difficult to treat you. That's not fun. Cigarette smoking may modify inflammation that is associated with asthma, although there is limited published data on airway pathology in smokers with asthma. To date, the evidence points towards a combination of both heightened and suppressed inflammatory responses in smokers compared with non-smokers with asthma. Okay, it's probably different kinds of inflammatory responses, yeah? The mechanism of corticosteroid resistance in asthmatic smokers are unexplained, but could be the result of alterations in airway inflammatory cell phenotypes. Okay, I'm not going to read that part. It's very technical. I'm kind of just going to skip over. And increased activity of pro-inflammatory transcription factors or reduced histone something activity. Sorry, I'm not a doctor, in case you can't tell. In conclusion, every effort should be made to encourage asthmatics who smoke to stop, although the effects of smoking cessation upon reversing the adverse effects of tobacco smoke on asthma control therapeutic response to corticosteroids and airway pathology have yet to be fully elucidated. There's probably not enough data, yeah. Alternative or additional therapies to inhaled corticosteroids are needed for asthmatic patients who are unable to quit smoking. Okay, and then they have a little section on history, and that's what I want to read. During the mid-16th century, Sir Walter Raleigh introduced tobacco to the UK, and smoking was soon recommended as a treatment of various medical complaints, including respiratory diseases. Smoking leaves and the root of the datura plant, which contains anti-cholinergic compounds, was first used to treat asthma in the 17th century. Smoking cures for asthma continued to be popular until the introduction of adrenaline in the 1930s. During the latter half of the last century, the harmful influence of environmental tobacco smoke on children and adults with asthma was increasingly recognized, with adverse effects being noted on the development of asthma and an aggravation of attacks 2 through 5. More recently, important interactions between active cigarette smoking and asthma have been identified, including effects on morbidity, therapeutic response to corticosteroids, and mechanisms of the disease. This review summarizes published data on the clinical links between active cigarette smoking and asthma, possible biological mechanisms that could explain these links, and potential drugs to treat smokers with asthma. Wow. I'm just scanning the article to see if there's anything else that's relevant. All right, that's mostly about like what to do if you're a smoker that has asthma. That was really interesting, though. I had no idea that this was actually recommended as a treatment of asthma. I'm going to do another quick search just to see if they can figure out why. Okay, this is from the National Institutes of Health.gov. I believe that's British, yeah. And believing that asthma was more likely to be caused by spasmodic constriction of the bronchi than by accumulation of mucus, Laennec recommended a variety of antispasmodics, including opium, belladonna, stramonium, tobacco, hyoscyamus, and coffee. Yeah, none of those help with asthma, do they? Like, I'm not aware of them helping with asthma. I was pretty sure that most people have inhalers which contain corticosteroids, yeah, that relax the inflammation of your lungs. That's really interesting. I had no idea. This is so weird. All right. Patient with asthma seeks medical advice in 1828. So this is around this time, yeah. Asthma cigarettes made from the leaves of Datura stromium thorn apple were widely sold in the 1800s and the early 1900s. These cigarettes provided a means of delivering an inhaled treatment. We now know the active component of this smoke was antimuscarinic alkaloid. Great. This is so weird to me. Like, especially considering that, like, it's so harmful, you know? Open link in a new tab. I want to check this one out. This is from Snopes.com, which you know is a fact-checking site. And the article is called, Yes, Cigarettes Were Once Used to Treat Asthma. Once upon a time, opium, caffeine, iodine, and morphine were recommended treatments for the respiratory distress caused by asthma. Kellogg's asthma cigarettes. This is so weird. I'm in the twilight zone here. Asthma is a respiratory condition marked by spasms in the bronchi of the lungs, causing difficulty in breathing. Today, flare-ups of asthma are typically self-treated through the use of an inhaler that delivers a type of medication known as a bronchodilator, commonly albuterol, which relaxes and opens air passages to the lungs to make breathing easier. Modern readers might be quite surprised to learn that a common remedy for asthma symptoms was once something that now seems the most unlikely of treatments: cigarettes. Jeez. This revelation isn't as so shocking as it might seem, though, because asthma cigarettes were very different from modern tobacco-based cigarettes. They were a delivery system for asthma medication used before the advent of albuterol and propellant-based inhalers. Back in the early part of the 20th century, when very few effective medications existed for the treatment of most medical maladies, doctors could offer little to asthma patients other than adrenaline injections. Oh, that sucks. In that void, asthma sufferers commonly turned to a type of inhalation therapy dating to the early 19th century, one of which involved the use of stramonium leaves. Okay. Okay, products such as Page's inhalers, cigarettes containing stramonium leaves, and other ingredients such as tea leaves, chestnut leaves, gum benzoin, and cola nuts were therefore a common treatment for asthma symptoms in the early 20th century. Medicated cigarettes for the temporary relief of the paroxysms of asthma and to aid in the relief of the discomforts due to excessive secretions in the nasal passage associated with hay fever and simple nasal irritations. Contains stramonium leaves containing alkaloids, chestnut leaves, tea leaves, gum benzoin, and cola nuts. Wow. Okay, well that's not tobacco, yeah, but it is cigarettes. So, I guess they must have thought, okay, with cigarettes you inhale something, and since you're having trouble breathing, then you should inhale this, and it'll make you feel better. And I don't know if it did or not, because I don't have asthma and I wasn't there at the time, but I just can't imagine it being helpful, you know? Like, I just am kind of blown away by that thought of, gosh, like, here, you have asthma, start smoking. Okay, do not do this. Okay, this is my disclaimer. I do not believe in this. This is terrible medical advice. So, gosh. Anyways, that was really weird. Okay, good to know. Don't follow the medical advice of the past. We are very glad that we have albuterol today, yes? Thank you, medicine, for moving forward from this and not going backwards, because we appreciate it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video today. That was a little silly, slightly ridiculous, but if you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next video.